Good morning, everybody. I'm Ranger Julia, and we're out here on the Duck River this morning. The Duck River is home to more than 60 species of mussels, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. No, not these mussels, these mussels. Mussels are an important part of this river's ecosystem and very important to plants and animals and people as well. So let's wait out here and look, and I'll tell you more about why they're so important. Okay, everybody, so we've ventured out here a little bit further in the river because this is where you'll find a lot of different mussel species, and they're just right beneath our feet, right where I'm standing. So if I bent down right now and looked around, there's all kinds of different mussel shells I can see. There's some that are alive, some that are dead. Unfortunately, raccoons may have eaten some. That might be why they're dead and split open. But if you do find some that the shell are closed, that means they're alive. And if they're alive, that means they're working to help you and me. What mussels do is they sit on the bottom of the river. They latch onto the bottom of the sediment with their little foot muscle. And what they do is they collect in dirty water that has plankton in it. They filter it and they release out clean water. So that's really important if this river provides over 250,000 people clean drinking water, isn't it? So I like to say that mussels are filter feeders and river cleaners. Say it one more time with me. Mussels are filter feeders and river cleaners. So those of you who come and swim in this river, just remember, if you see a mussel on the bottom of the river floor, leave it there, because what's it doing? It's cleaning the river for you, and it's very important. Mussels are types of mollusks. They're more specifically types of bivalves, which means they're related to clams and oysters. And yes, freshwater mussels do produce pearls also, but it's really rare that you'll find one out here in the river. It's about 1 in 10,000 chance for you to find a pearl out here in the river, so don't go looking for pearls. Used to, in the early 1900s, they would use mussel shells to make buttons for your clothes. Up until the invention of plastics in the 1940s, that really put a damper on the mussel population because people were just collecting so many mussels from the rivers and using them to make buttons. Mussels come in all different shapes and sizes. Most commonly, you'll see mussels in this shape. This mussel is actually called a slab-sided pearly mussel. And you'll see mussels that are a little bit smaller than this, a little bit bigger than this in this shape. You'll also see mussels in this size and shape. This mussel is, for a reason, it's called a heel splitter. It's because it'll bust your heel wide open, and I've seen it do it to people. This right here is a different funny shaped mussel. This one's called a rabbit's foot. As you can see, it kind of resembles the foot of a rabbit. So there's, like I said, there's over 60 species of mussels in the Duck River, and if you look closely next time you're out and about, maybe you'll find one of these, maybe you'll find a totally different species. The best thing you can do is when you pick it up and observe it, put it back right where it came from. One other really neat feature of mussels is that their life cycle is so unique that it relies on other fish in the river. When mussels reproduce, the male, who like I said was sitting on the bottom of the riverbank, releases sperm into the water, and it finds its way to the female and it fertilizes the female. Once the eggs are fertilized in the female, well, we're going to call them eggs, but the scientific term for them is glochidia. If you can say that, go for it, but we're going to call them eggs. When the female is ready to release the eggs, she creates a type of lure that attracts a fish to her, and then she spits out the eggs and they land on the fish's gills and attach to the fish's gills. They don't hurt the fish. They operate through commensalism, which means they're not hurting the fish, so they're not a parasite, but them being on the fish's gills is how they're going to be able to grow and reproduce. So the fish is a really big partner in mussels. Different mussels attach to different species of fish. It could take several days or several weeks for the glochidia, or eggs, to reach the stage of juvenile mussels. And at that point, they will fall off the fish's gills and start the process over and fall right back down to the river floor and attach to the floor with their muscular foot. And roughly 2 to 7 years later, they will repeat the cycle and breed again and making more mussels. So that's why it's really important that we leave the mussels exactly where they're at. And if we leave the mussels where they're at, they'll live for 70 to 90 years depending on the species. That's 70 to 90 years that they'll be cleaning this river for you. So it's really important that we remember that. Mussels are filter feeders and river cleaners, and we should do the best we can do to preserve them and leave them here in the river. Female will project something called a lure to lure a type of fish. When mussels reproduce, the males will be sitting on the ocean floor. Ocean. Putting mussels in my pockets, stealing our mussels. People still do. Mussels are in the, okay, I'm just gonna keep going, we got this. Mussels are a type of mollusk, more specifically a type of bivalve. They also produce freshwater pearls, but it's really rare. And they collect in dirty water that has plankton in it and all kinds of nasty stuff. Start again. Dang, I got tongue-tied. Okay. It's easier to look at a piece of paper than it is to say it. I need a little thing like the president just reading it to me.
Hey, we go get a marker nut.